Hello, I'm Chris of Hitlist Video, and today I want to show you one of my favorite games, Blood on the Clocktower. This video is meant to give you a brief overview of the game mechanics as well as what it's like to play it. Blood on the Clocktower is published by the Pandemonium Institute, also known as TPI. It's likely best described as a social deduction game. You may have heard of social deduction games such as Werewolf, Hollywood 1947, and The Resistance. A social deduction game is where players are divided into two teams, usually one group considered good and the other bad. The bad team is likely hidden from the good team in some way. Typically, the goal of the good team is to figure out who's on the bad team and try to stop them from their victory condition. When Blood on the Clocktower begins, players are assigned character roles within the village of Ravenwood Bluff. The players are randomly divided based on player count for the good and evil team. Each player will receive a role token. If the token is red, you're on the evil team. The evil team consists of the demon and its minions. Typically, the minions and the demon know who's on their team. However, if you got a blue token, that represents the good team, and the good team consists of the townsfolk and the outsiders. And the goal of the good team is to execute the demon before the evil team wins. Every character role has special abilities unique to them. The townsfolk have abilities meant to help players find the demon, and the outsiders have abilities that aren't that helpful, but the players are still on the good team. The minions have abilities meant to be harmful to the townsfolk and the outsiders, and the evil team's leader, the demon, has unique powers too. The game is facilitated by a storyteller. This person guides the players through all the various phases. The storyteller is responsible for helping craft the experience for all players. The storyteller may assist or deceive either team within the rules of the game. The game is divided into two phases, a day phase and a night phase. During the day phase, players may talk amongst themselves in small groups or in private conversations. And when the players get together, they can share information to help each other or maybe spread some misinformation. Eventually, storytellers will gather the players back together into town square. Players will then be able to vote. Players will nominate each other for execution. Each player can only nominate and be nominated once per day. After the final call, if someone gathers enough votes to be executed, their character will die. If the demon is killed, well, the game is over and the good team has won. If the demon isn't killed, well, the players enter the night phase. During the night phase, in-person players will close their eyes and are awoken as necessary by the storyteller. With online play, you might go into a private chat, or the storyteller may send you some private DMs. It's during this time that players receive new information and may use their powers. In the start of each day phase, the storytellers will announce if anyone died at night. The night phase is when the demon can use its powers to eliminate members of the good team. We repeat this process of day and night phase over and over until a team wins. You could be thinking that Blood on the Clocktower sounds a lot like Werewolf, and you're right. Werewolf and Blood on the Clocktower do share some similarities with the day, night, and voting phases. However, I'd like to explain why Blood on the Clocktower is different from Werewolf. In Clocktower, after death, a player is still deeply involved in the game. Dead players become ghosts. Ghosts can participate in conversations as well as the voting phase. Each ghost has one last vote they may cast before the game is over. We call those ghost votes, and they're often a deciding factor in critical moments of the end game. In Clocktower, every character has a special ability meant to help or hinder the good team finding the demon. Unlike other social deduction games where only a select few players have such abilities, everyone's included having special power. The storyteller is also extremely involved in the game. They select the characters that will be in the session. They can pick up to 25 different roles on a script for a 7 to 15 player game. At present, Clocktower has 3 official scripts, but the fan base has made tons of custom scripts mixing and matching different characters. The storytellers will also facilitate the use of powers and abilities as well as game mechanics. The storyteller will usually give the demon 3 character bluffs at the start that they can share with their evil team. These bluffs are meant to help the evil team hide in the game. These are 3 characters that are not currently in the session. With all this and more, the storyteller will help craft a unique gaming experience. I could talk all day about Blood on the Clocktower, but I think it's better to see than just believe me. So if you're interested in watching a few in-depth games, I recommend checking out the Blood on the Clocktower YouTube channel, as well as other channels like No Rules Barred and Atreides. A while back, the Pandemonium Institute released an app via Patreon that allowed people to play together online instead of just in person. And with the app, I've been able to make new friends and get more games than I ever have in person. My experiences with the BOTC community have been mostly friendly, welcoming, and inclusive. With that in mind, I've decided to post some of those Clocktower game sessions here. That's why I'm making this video. I wanted to give people an introduction to the game before posting the content. With these sessions, I'll likely be hanging out with friends and more probably strangers trying to win a game or storytelling. I hope you decide to check out the gameplay videos. Kill with grace, die with dignity, and take care.